Presidents of the United States of America. George Washington. The father of his country, previously served as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. He is known for securing America's independence from Great Britain. He is also the only nonpartisan president ever elected, and the only president elected unanimously. He probably did not chop down his father's cherry tree. John Adams. Old Sinkerswim, previously served as vice president. He is the only president elected from the Federalist Party and is remembered for signing the highly controversial Alien and Sedition Acts. He was also the first president to live in the White House. Thomas Jefferson, the Sage of Monticello, previously served as vice president. He is perhaps best remembered for authoring the original draft of the Declaration of Independence. He also doubled the nation's land area via the Louisiana Purchase and oversaw the successful Lewis and Clark expedition.
Fittingly, both he and Adams died on the same day, July 4th, 1826, precisely 50 years after the birth of our nation.
James Madison. The father of the Constitution previously served as Secretary of State. He was the chief author of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Along with Jefferson, he organized the Democratic-Republican Party in opposition to Alexander Hamilton's Federalists. He presided during the War of 1812. James Monroe. The last cocked hat, previously served as Secretary of State. He established a foreign policy known as the Monroe Doctrine, which asserted America's supremacy in the Western Hemisphere. His tenure is known as the Era of Good Feelings, after the decline of the Federalist Party led to an end in partisan disputes.
Temporary end, of course.
John Quincy Adams. Old Man Eloquent, previously served as Secretary of State. The eldest son of John Adams, he was the first son of a president to serve as president. When no candidate received a majority of electoral votes in the 1824 presidential election, he was elected by the House of Representatives. After his tenure, he served an additional 17 years as a congressman from Massachusetts. Andrew Jackson. Old Hickory previously served as a senator from Tennessee. He is known for signing the Indian Removal Act and for working to preserve the Union of the States after South Carolina sought to nullify a federal tariff. You also see his mug every time you go to an ATM to take out money.
Money, 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 money!
Martin Van Buren. The Little Magician previously served as vice president. He is known for presiding during the Panic of 1837 and the resultant Depression, and for opposing the admittance of Texas into the Union as a slave state. William Henry Harrison. Tippecanoe previously served as minister to Grand Columbia. He served only 31 days before succumbing to a case of pneumonia and severe diarrhea. Yeah, not a good way to go. He was the last president born in the original 13 colonies prior to American independence. John Tyler. His Excellency previously served as vice president. He earned his nickname, of course, for being the first vice president to succeed to the presidency.
Now, he was also an advocate of states' rights, and later served as a member of the Provisional Congress of the Confederacy.
James K. Polk. The Napoleon of the Stump previously served as governor of Tennessee. He presided during the successful Mexican-American War, which resulted in the Mexican cession of the American Southwest, as well as during the annexations of the Republic of Texas and the Oregon Territory. Zachary Taylor. Old Rough and Ready previously served as a major general in the Army during the Mexican-American War. He was the first president to be elected without having previously held political office. He died 16 months into his term, and as far as I can tell, is remembered primarily for having wicked sideburns.
Yes, indeed, they are wicked.
Millard Fillmore. The last of the Whigs, previously served as vice president. Not to be confused with Mallard Fillmore, or Alec Baldwin. During his tenure, Congress passed the 1850 Compromise, which admitted California to the Union and resulted in the passage of the Fugitive Slave Act, requiring slaves caught in free states to be returned to their owners. Franklin Pierce. Young Hickory of the Granite Hills previously served as a brigadier general in the Army during the Mexican-American War. As president, he signed the Gadsden Purchase and the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which repealed the Missouri Compromise and led to increased tensions over slavery, including the violent conflict known as Bleeding Kansas. James Buchanan, the Bachelor President, previously served as Minister to the United Kingdom. He is the only president to have never married and is perhaps best remembered for his involvement in the Dred Scott case, which denied citizenship to African Americans.
By God, that's Abraham Lincoln's music.
Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, or Honest Abe, previously served as a congressman from Illinois. He presided, of course, during the Civil War, strengthening the federal government in an effort to preserve the Union while working to abolish slavery via the 13th Amendment, which was ratified shortly after his death. He also gave the Gettysburg Address, which is remembered as one of the greatest speeches of all time. He was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth shortly after securing victory for the Union. Andrew Johnson, the Tennessee tailor, previously served as vice president. He was the first president to preside during the Reconstruction period following the Civil War, and was the only president to be impeached by the House of Representatives until Bill Clinton's impeachment in 1998. Ulysses S. Grant. Unconditional Surrender Grant previously served as Commanding General of the United States Army during the Civil War. He is best remembered for engineering Northern victory and for his support of civil rights for African Americans during Reconstruction.
And for being a functioning alcoholic.
Also, he was the first of a string of presidents to wear quote-unquote beards, if that's what you humans want to call them. Rutherford B. Hayes. His fraudulency previously served as governor of Ohio. He earned his nickname after he lost the popular vote in the election of 1776 and won the presidency via the Compromise of 1777, which was passed in large part because of a promise he made to Southerners to end Reconstruction. James A. Garfield, the preacher president, previously served as a congressman from Ohio. A former preacher, lawyer, and Civil War general, he is the only sitting member of the House to be elected president. He was shot by an assassin 4 months into his term and died 2 months later. He is perhaps best remembered today as the namesake of a popular comic about a surly cat.
Lasagna.
Chester A. Arthur, the gentleman boss, previously served as vice president. As president, he signed the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, which mandated that most positions in the federal government be awarded based on merit and not as political spoils. Suffering from poor health, he retired at the end of his first term and died a year later. Grover Cleveland. Grover the Good previously served as governor of New York. He was the first Democrat to be elected after the Civil War and is best known for his good morals and his support of the gold standard.
And for getting 2 flashcards in your presidency on account of having served 2 non-consecutive terms.
Benjamin Harrison, the front porch campaigner, previously served as senator from Indiana. He was the grandson of President William Henry Harrison. As president, he signed the McKinley Protective Tariff and the Sherman Antitrust Act. He also established the first 15 national forest reserves. William McKinley, the Napoleon of Protection, previously served as governor of Ohio. He's remembered for raising protective tariffs, hence his nickname, presiding during the Spanish-American War, and for his support of the gold standard. He was assassinated early in his second term. Theodore Roosevelt, the Rough Rider, previously served as vice president. He is the youngest man to assume the presidency and is best known for progressive policies which busted trusts, regulated railroads, and established national parks, forests, and monuments. He is one of 4 presidents featured on Mount Rushmore, and his slogan, "Speak softly and carry a big stick," is commonly quoted today.
And for all that, he is still best remembered for the stuffed bears named after him.
William H. Taft. Big Chief previously served as Secretary of War. He was Roosevelt's chosen successor, but aligned more with the conservative Republicans than Roosevelt's progressive Republicans. After his presidency, he served as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, making him the only president to ever do so. Contrary to popular belief, it is unlikely that he ever got stuck in a bathtub.
Though of course he did weigh in at a whopping 350 pounds.
Woodrow Wilson, the professor, previously served as governor of New Jersey and as president of Princeton University. He initiated the modern income tax following the passage of the 16th Amendment, led the country during World War I, and was subsequently the leading architect of the League of Nations. Along with Teddy Roosevelt and Harry Truman, he is one of 3 presidents to wear glasses in his official portrait. Warren G. Harding. Wobbly Warren previously served as senator from Ohio. He was the first sitting senator to be elected president. His administration was plagued by corruption, and the Teapot Dome bribery scandal was exposed after his death. He died of a heart attack after serving for 2 years. Calvin Coolidge. Silent Cal previously served as vice president. Known for his dry sense of humor, he was a small government conservative who supported laissez-faire economics and fought for racial equality. The Federal Reserve during his administration is widely blamed, at least in part, for the stock market crash of 1929 and the resultant Great Depression. Herbert Hoover. The great engineer previously served as Secretary of Commerce. He is best known for presiding during the stock market crash of 1929 and the onset of the Great Depression. During his tenure, work began on what was eventually named the Hoover Dam. No, I said dam. Like a beaver. Dam. Never mind. Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Sphinx previously served as governor of New York. Paralyzed from the waist down by polio, he is best known for a series of programs collectively known as the New Deal, for giving radio addresses known as fireside chats, for leading the country through, quote, a day that will live in infamy, and the majority of World War II, and for winning election an unprecedented 4 times. He died at the outset of his 4th term, having served just over 12 years. Harry S. Truman. Give 'em hell Harry previously served as vice president. He authorized the use of nuclear weapons that ended World War II, implemented the Marshall Plan to rebuild the economy of Western Europe, and established both the Truman Doctrine and NATO to contain Soviet expansion. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Ike previously served as the first Supreme Allied Commander Europe of NATO. During his presidency, he supported Taiwan as the legitimate government of China and provided aid to the French against Vietnamese communists. He also presided over the construction of the interstate highway system and the creation of NASA.
And the debut of Leave It to Beaver.
John F. Kennedy. JFK previously served as a senator from Massachusetts. He was the first Roman Catholic to be elected president. His administration, nicknamed Camelot, established the Peace Corps and continued the Apollo moon landing program. He also presided over the failed Bay of Pigs invasion and the Cuban Missile Crisis. He was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald in November of 1963. Lyndon B. Johnson. Landslide Lyndon previously served as vice president. He won re-election with 61.1% of the vote, the largest share by a candidate since the collapse of the Federalist Party and the era of good feelings. He is known for signing the Civil Rights Acts of 1964 and 1968, and for presiding over the escalation of the Vietnam War. Richard Nixon. Tricky Dick previously served as vice president. He's known for reducing American involvement in Vietnam, presiding over the first manned moon landings, and for establishing the EPA and OSHA.
Cause following the Watergate scandal, he became the only president to resign from office.
Gerald Ford. Mr. Nice Guy previously served as vice president. He is the only president to have never won election either for vice president or president, having been appointed to the vice presidency in 1973 following the resignation of Spiro Agnew. Jimmy Carter. The peanut farmer previously served as governor of Georgia. His administration established the Departments of Energy and Education. After his one term, he founded the Carter Center, won the Nobel Peace Prize, and at 98 is the longest living president in American history.
Well, I love his accent.
Ronald Reagan. The great communicator previously served as governor of California. Once a Hollywood actor, he is known for economic policies known as Reaganomics, which cut taxes and spending and implemented economic deregulation. He survived an assassination attempt and famously called for Mr. Gorbachev to tear down this wall. George H.W. Bush. Poppy previously served as vice president. He presided over the end of the Cold War, as well as the invasion of Panama and the Gulf War. He negotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement and signed the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. Bill Clinton. The Comeback Kid previously served as governor of Arkansas. He presided over the longest period of peacetime economic expansion in American history. He is also remembered for engaging in an illicit relationship with an intern, which resulted in his eventual impeachment by Congress.
And for playing the saxophone on Arsenio.
George W. Bush. W. previously served as governor of Texas. He is known for signing the No Child Left Behind Act and for supporting faith-based initiatives. He presided during the September 11th attacks, the onset of the war against Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, and the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Barack Obama. No Drama Obama previously served as senator from Illinois. He was the first African-American president and is known for signing the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, and for ordering the raid which killed Osama bin Laden. Donald Trump. The Donald previously worked as a businessman and television personality. His time in office saw a rise in American nationalism and the onset of the COVID-19 global pandemic. He signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, which cut taxes and ended the insurance mandate penalty of Obamacare.
Tell you what, let's leave it at that.
Joe Biden. Middle Class Joe previously served as vice president. He is the current president of the United States. Notably, his administration withdrew American troops from Afghanistan, resulting in the collapse of the Afghan government, and presided over the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. He is also the oldest president in American history. Well, there you go. The presidents of the United States of America. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, this is Bigfoot saying so long and save me a seat at your next campfire.